seeing as you are like very experienced in health and wellness and you're an educator, like how would you like advise people to go about getting the right information? Because back to like people being stressed out about what to eat, what not to eat, there's toxins in this. Like if you go on the internet, there's so many conflicting ideas, you know? So where should people like get their information? How do you get the right answers?
Yes, that's a good question. So one is I'd be very mindful of anyone who says this is the only way. Right? So if you find yourself on a certain page, Instagram, like watching on YouTube, and you're learning only from a person who says this is the only way, if you don't do this, you're going to cause disease, whether it's carnivore, whether it's like you're vegan, whether it's whatever it is. Like if you're listening to someone and they say this is the only way, then that's going to be the first problem that I find, because you have to listen to your body, right? So the best thing is find something, try something, see how you feel.
Yeah, I feel that. Error. I feel it is. There's an amount of trial and error, but I have like when you say listen to your body, some people don't know because they've never been in that state. Some people don't know what they're listening for. You know what I'm saying? So it's like like for example, you're 300 pounds and you're trying to eat a healthier diet. Now, at first, I'm like, oh, well, this healthy food's hurting me. It's killing me.
It's hurting.
So, for example, right?
You know what I'm saying?
If you're overweight, for example, you have a certain goal where you want to lose a certain amount of weight.
Right.
Right. So, if you're listening to your body, did you lose some weight?
Okay. No, they were listening. It was hurting. They tell you like, yo, I'm hungry. I ate this salad. I ate these apples. Right? Yo, where's the fried?
So that's how you got to listen to your body. Is are you getting the outcome that you're wanting? And it's like first order consequence is usually something that doesn't feel good.
I would disagree. See, at that point, I disagree with listening to your body, because I think that like your body will give out quicker than your mind.
So I don't mean listen to your body as in like this doesn't taste good, so I'm not going to keep eating this.
No, go ahead.
You know what I mean? What I mean is like, say for example, right? For me, I wanted to not feel sick in my stomach before the game, after my games.
Right.
Right. So then I eat something different. I don't feel sick. Okay, there's something there.
Right.
You know, and listening to my body is like, yo, this was making me feel like bloated, making me feel sick, so my body was telling me something. Do you know what I mean? For example, like I experiment with things, right? So you figure some. So I tried smoothies instead of eggs for breakfast, right? I tried that. I'm like, I feel good. I feel energized, right? So I like to look at yourself as an experiment, right? So when you have an experiment, you set out what you want to do, then you set out a hypothesis of what I think is going to happen from this experiment.
Right.
And then you experiment, you play that experiment out and you see how you respond and how you feel from that.
Yeah.
Right? So what I'm saying is with all the information, right? You got to find something that initially resonates with you, try it, right? See it through for a certain period of time, 30, 60 days, see it through, right? And then some people, for example, when it comes to the alkaline diet, right? They're allergic to a lot of the foods that they say are supposed to be good for you.
Right.
So for example, chickpeas really mess with your stomach, but they say chickpeas are the good protein. You soak them, you try everything, right? You put the bladderwhack in there, sweet bay leaf, all that in there, you're still messing with your stomach. Stay away from the chickpeas.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now see what else you could replace that with. So that's what I mean by listen to your body. Like you gotta, and at first you're right? Because at first it's good to follow a certain path, right? Go down a certain path and then you're gonna learn for a certain period of time. Because if you start something day one, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna listen to my body. It's like, you don't know what you're listening for.
You don't know what you're listening for.
You have no clue, right? So it's good to follow something for a period of time.
I even think in regards to what he was saying, just to relate it back, though, he's like, yo, where would you even source the information to follow, to go listen to? Because like I hear what you're saying, and like even what you're saying off the rip, there's a level of like intermediate experience that's required to do what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right. You're saying, all right, cool. Like that's someone is they're good with what they eat. They've isolated. Now they're removing and trialing and error. Right. You like that portion of what you've described. That's not day one.
Like, yeah, if you had to give somebody like some advice on day one, they're maybe overweight or they've got some problem that they wanna get rid of, and they go on Instagram and they don't know what to look at, where to start. Like, how would you tell that person to go and find, the information that they're looking for? Like, who's some reputable sources or something like that?
Oh, like the actual sources.
Yeah, that's where the information comes from.
Wherever they could access that.
Exactly.
Access that information. Like, how can people go from 0 to, bro, I'm on my way?
Like, who did you look at? Like, when you were?
I looked at Dr. Sebi was one. I looked at David Avocado Wolf. He's another one. I looked at, those were like the two, and I looked at this other guy actually. I forget, he's living in Hawaii though, right? I forget this guy's name, but this guy living in Hawaii. Those are the three people that I really looked at. And then I have my cousin Priest Kailash who was doing it. But those are the main three people. But what I did, for example, when I was like first starting, I just Googled protein-rich foods, right? And then I saw all these foods, and then I saw hemp seeds, and I tried hemp seeds as one thing. Right. So one thing that I'll say, if you're just starting, right, what foods do you like? Right. So whatever type of food you like, and then just try to find like healthy alternative. And then
that's a more fair answer.
Just try.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like I can say, like, if you want to start, like, just start by drinking your water, remove processed sugars, remove processed flours. Like, those are like the basic.
But I think people need the basic. We can't overlook that.
Like,
so can't overlook that.
Even that's
those
good
are the
because
basics,
So what's something that you like that you know, like, okay, it's not good for you, but you had to make a healthy alternative for it?
Man, I did everything like that. So, for example, when it came to chocolate, I love chocolate, right? I love chocolate muffins from Costco. I don't know if you remember those big muffin top. Like,
I know exactly those muffins. I don't eat them, but I know what you're talking about.
I had to find a healthy alternative. So then I find the dark chocolate, right? And then even if it was like, what's a healthy breakfast? Like, really just Googling healthy breakfast. And then for the most part, like, that alone is going to change people's, like, we complicate it at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
You know what it is? Because there's so much different schools of thought, right? I think that people like to source out all the different facets of information and then try to pick the one that obviously sounds the most correct to them. Just like there's a bunch of religions. Like, there's one life we live and there's so much different religions to look at it through. You get what I'm saying? Same thing with the health. Like, do you have people that will say, yo, you have to go vegan if you want to live the optimal mucus-free lifestyle, right? And there's an amount of science to back that up. There's an amount of study that would back that up, like Dr. Sebi's teaching, removing mucus from the body, right? But then you'll have, say, like, I've also seen in the same flip side where people say, hey, I've gotten sick going on a vegan diet. Whereas, like, you have the opposite extreme where niggas go on the carnivore diet, for example, and then say, yo, they've experienced a myriad of health benefits as a result of switching to this way, right? And so now you're faced like, well, what do I do? What serves me more, and where's the right answer? I find like people don't really know.
And there is no right answer. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, there's the basics: remove the sugar, remove the flour, remove processed foods as much as possible, right? Even if you just start with that alone, if we just do that alone, you really don't need much else. Like, if we're talking about healthy,
I agree.
Like, it's that simple.
I agree. You know what, dude? Even with the thing, because they say even in Italy, they consume a lot of pastas and breads and dough and all that, but they have some of the healthier people, right? They have good water over there, which I know the source of water in which you consume from, that will have a large impact on the population that surrounds.
The ingredients that they use when they make the bread.
Yeah, everything's fresher, right? Everything's not refined and everything's not super heavily processed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So we complicate it to a degree where you feel like you have to find this answer.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying, don't try to find someone that's going to give you an answer. You know, it's simple. Like, honestly, it's so simple. I tell people, you already know the answer. Just ask yourself, anyone listening to this, you're trying to get healthy, what do I think I need to do to get healthy? I guarantee you know at least 5 things you can do to get healthy.
They probably do. Like, it's a fact.
It's simple.
I've noticed, like, when you go on the internet, it's almost like, you ever been a like Cheesecake Factory? You see how, like, the menu's huge? They got like 50 different items,
Now
and it's
that's
like
when it's the
almost like, yo,
problem.
bro, what do I choose? There's so many options. I gotta have this, that, or you know. So I think they call it like analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
People just end up spending more time researching than
They're making a
practicing.
movement. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. So even if you could just bring it to a simple form, like, hey, off the top of your head, what are like 3 things that would be healthier than what you're doing right now? I guarantee you a bunch of unhealthy people have that answer. And it just requires them to simplify it and take action. Do one of those things.
That's it. And do one of those things. And I'll just say this: do one of those things once a month.
I say it more consistently, bro.
No, I'm saying this. What I'm saying is this: for one time a month, you're gonna implement a new health practice. So you're gonna do it for the whole 30 days, right?
Oh, that's what you're saying. Build on it.
Build on
Okay, I
it.
got
So
what you're
don't
saying.
try to be like.
I thought you meant like do the
example-
practice once a month, and I was like, no, nigga needs to show up a little more than that.
For example, right? Because we complicate health so much. So if it's just like this, I'm trying to get healthy. Okay, I don't drink water. Let me just start drinking
The thing
water
is, though, you
for
can't
30
even
days.
you can't even blame people like to a certain extent because they're also born into a pre-existing system that has you conditioned to look at health through a certain lens. For example, like we definitely overcomplicate it, right? Even when you look at fasting, for example, or like when we lose our appetites when we're not sick, it's literally your body telling you, yo, bro, I don't want to eat right now. I'm doing things. You get me? Whereas humans are like, yo, you're not eating. You should be eating. You know what I mean? And then so now we want to feed you or like, oh, you should be consuming. And don't get me wrong. There's a logic of like, you need to refuel. You need food for energy. And then so like, I guess that energy is going to apply to you healing when like the practice of fasting is like, your body does the most healing when it's completely empty, right? When you're in a state of autophagy and a state of removal is when you actually heal the most. So it's counterintuitive, right? People when people get a headache, instead of drinking water or thinking, "Hey, what am I doing or what am I consuming?" People are you're way more conditioned to have a quick fix, band-aid the issue or band-aid the symptom. You're gonna take a Tylenol, an aspirin, or an Advil, whatever your flavor of painkiller is, right? And you've literally been conditioned like this since I don't know if you were born here your entire life. Or if you're from other, like, I don't know, that's just kind of the common school of thought that I find most people take. People trust the healthcare system with their health more than they trust themselves with their health.